When it
You
goes
have
in
it
the
not
backyard.
in, why in the backyard?
You don't have the following contract on Main Street.
Oh, yeah, that's county.
Yep, so that could be the county that went through it with it.
But I don't know why that.
Yeah, it should be in the backyard.
Just noticed them today when I got sent off the bus. so
Just like Kevin wanted, so he should
Yeah, I'm
be
not
available.
aware.
I'm still fighting for it.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Come back, man.
These are still attached, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
Oh, I just need to. hope.
Either the.
I'll get a little
Well,
further.
We need
I'll be
your arms.
fine. I have it in my office.
Chris, can you hold this
Or
for me?
doing less and less.
It's good right there.
I can tell what time it is by the cattle,
We are all waiting.
but I can tell you what a number is. And the only reason I can tell you it's scary is because that's what you always say. Because I can see your hair.
It's like church. Everybody sits in the same place.
Right.
Well, it's St. Ignace, it's like you almost had a reserve. Every family sat in the same spot. It's like.
Okay, I'd like to call the Village of Atlanta Finance and Personnel Committee meeting to order for Monday, November 14th, 2022 at 6:45 PM. Roll call, we've got Yates is here, Summers here, Jensen,
Here.
Paquette.
Here.
All present. Discussion and possible recommendation to the village board on payment of the bills.
We're all pretty regular. I know the attorney's ones were double because our meeting was early last month, so we have 2 months of both of that.
Kevin, you here?
Yep.
Yeah, they're all pretty regular. Bills this time. I'm sorry, Kevin, I didn't, you weren't gonna be here. I would have emailed you over a copy so you can see.
That's okay. Thank you.
Looks like we're starting to see some charges for the water and sewer.
Yep, come from the
From
village of
Sussex.
Sussex. Yeah, the first month they didn't break it out. This month, when I got the bill, it's broken out a little bit more between water and sewer, so we could at least get a better idea of how it's being allocated. Where they're spending their time. Obviously in sewer, but.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about any of the items on here? If not, I'll entertain a motion to recommend payment.
Second.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion to pay the
You-
bills.
Pay the bills.
Sorry. Like you said.
What's in
Now
that?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion seconded, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I think everybody should have called in tonight.
Everybody sounds sick.
You know, everybody is, it sounds like.
71 day and then it's 35.
Right?
Oh. See if I
I have
could.
like 24 on Thursday.
Pause it.
I think it's even gonna get above freezing.
In our
Yes, and two.
Somebody is not muted.
They're practicing.
How many can see us?
Kevin's practicing his piano.
He needs to practice more.
Apparently.
No, I should be practicing.
Are we live, Brenda?
Yep.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this monthly board meeting to order November 14th, 2022 at the Landon Village Hall at 7 o'clock. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to go out of order here a little bit. Everybody should remember that last Friday was Veterans Day. On behalf of the entire village of Landon, I know that Ron Nellis is a veteran. If we have any other veterans in the room here, I'd like to thank you all on behalf of the entire village for your service.
Mr. Yates.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that.
Thank you.
Sorry, Patrick, I didn't realize you were that.
Yep.
Thank you. Roll call.
Jensen. Here. Martin. Nellis. She's here. Nellis.
I'm here.
Here,
Here.
Summers.
Here.
Yates.
Here.
All are present.
Statement of public notice.
Has been posted.
Public hearing on proposed 2023 Village of Landon budget presented by Wendy Unger from Baker Tilly.
Good evening. Hopefully everybody has in hand the 2-page handout that's over here. I will utilize that to go through a very high level synopsis of the budgets that is being presented tonight. The 2023 budget has been provided in comparison to 2022 on the handout. Again, I'm going to just highlight a couple items. Keep in mind, as the budget's prepared, we start with expenditures and then work our way through those and then determine our revenue sources. And then we need to adjust expenditures as needed to adhere with the various revenue components. As I summarized here, your total government category, you can see those are your village board, clerk treasurer, assessor, elections, those type of activities. When you look at 2023 in comparison to 2022, there's roughly a $23,000 increase over the 2022 presented budget. A couple different reasons for that. When you look at the village board category, you'll note that it's roughly $10,000 less than the previous years. That's due to a $10,000 budgeted item for the codification that will be done in 2022, hence not needed to be budgeted in 2023. The clerk treasurer category, you'll note that's roughly $40,000 increase over the previous year. Two items that contribute to that. There is a budgeted purchase of some new accounting software for the village to update to a more current type of software. That's roughly $18,000 that's included within that budgeted category. And also included in there are some proposed wage increases for both the full and part-time staff of roughly $14,000. Elections, you'll note that's budgeted less than 2022, less election activity is expected. The other item to just note within those expenses, under the municipal building, there's roughly a $3,000 less figure budgeted for 2023. That's just due to less supplies that are needed for the subsequent year. Public safety is our next category. You'll note total public safety budgeted in 2022 was $675,000. For 2023, it's $665,000. You'll note the PD relatively close to the previous year budget, actually comes in roughly $6,000 less than that. Really, there's an item that's not included in 2023 that was included in 2022. That's the purchase of the squad car. So that was roughly a $57,000 purchase. But in 2023, there is a proposed budgeted increase in wages, both a percentage increase and additional hours of service being provided. The next line is fire department, 331,000 to 292,000. That's the money that the village pays to Menominee Falls for services they provide. And then lastly, the inspection category, you'll note that's roughly $40,000 under budget. That fluctuates with revenue. That's a percentage of the revenue that's collected. There is less building inspection fees expected to be collected in 2023, and we'll see that on the revenue side as a decrease. The public works category, again, very consistent with the previous year, $71,000 last year, $68,000 for 2023. The reason for the increase in there is the village board is proposing moving the weed cutting expenses out of public works and into the park and rec category where most of the other wages are included. Health and sanitation, you'll note that's $86,000 compared to $68,000 for the 2022 budget. Those are all the contracted services for rubbish and recycling. That is a contracted fee. All of that goes onto the tax bills. So it's an expenditure and then it's an offsetting revenue. So it's essentially a zero wash to the bottom line or to have any effect on the tax levy. Lastly, the culture, recreation, and education, this is the park fund, did see a slight increase over the previous budget for 2022. Again, as I noted, weed cutting was moved down to that category and hence the reason for the increase. Also, there is no capital outlay budgeted in the park and rec department as there was last year for the new lawnmower. So overall, when you look at the expenditures that are being proposed tonight, they're essentially equal to what they were in 2022. Last year for 2022 or this year, the year we're living, 1.224 million. This year, the proposed budget is 1.225 million. So very close. But when you look at the revenues, you're going to see the revenues in the previous year were $776,000 in the proposed budget. This year, they're coming in at roughly $679,000. Two largest contributing factors to that. Again, as I mentioned previously, less building inspection fees, roughly $50,000 less was budgeted for 2023 in comparison to 2022. The other item that is not included in revenue for 23 is in the previous budget, there was $30,000 of grant that was offset against the purchase of the police car. So that is a one-time revenue source and that is not included. The fund balance applied, the $17,800, as I mentioned at the beginning, that is the amount that is needed to purchase the new accounting software. So the village board is proposing using that amount of fund balance. Fund balance should be used for one-time type purposes, so it's an appropriate use of that. And again, that is what is being proposed here tonight. So you'll note at the very bottom of the front page, the proposed levy is $528,000, up from $436,000 in the previous year. You are subject to levy limits, but due to the growth within the village, you're allowed a $91,000 increase in your levy to help offset the additional costs. On the last page of the handout, I've highlighted the debt service fund. This is the fund that makes the principal and interest payments on village debt. This does not include any debt that's associated with water or sewer. You'll note when you look at 22 compared to 23, very large increase, but that's because in 2023, you'll begin to make the payments on the TIF debt. But you will also have offsetting increment that the TIFs generate to help pay for that. So overall, there's essentially a decrease in your debt service levy from $52,000 to $48,000. So again, the 23 proposed budget shows a budgeted levy of $577,000 compared to a $589,000 increase last year. The tax rate was 2.933 for 22. It is being proposed at 3.12 for 2023. So that's roughly a 6.4% increase. And again, as I mentioned, village levy went up by the $91,000. debt service levy went down by 8, so roughly an $83,000 increase. That is what I prepared to present. Any questions for either myself or any of the board members?
It's your request, yeah, if there's no questions, then let's public hearing. Those are. The next item, yeah, so we gotta close the public hearing first.
Close the public hearing on the Village of Lannon budget. Item 6, discussion and possible action on the approval of the proposed 2023 Village of Lannon budget.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second on the approval of the 2023 budget. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on a reading correction and approval of the minutes from the village board meeting from 10/10/22.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 10/10/22.
Motion and second.
There's motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Motion and- Discussion possible action on a reading correction and approval of the minutes from the special village board meeting from 9/29/22.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on a reading correction and approval of the minutes from the special village board meeting from 10/11/22.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and possible action on a reading correction and approval of the minutes from the special village board meeting from 10/17/22.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 10/17/22.
We have a motion and second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Committee reports, finance personnel.
Nothing other than the items on the agenda.
Thank you, Patrick. Legislative,
Nothing at this time.
thank you. Parks and Rec, beautification.
First, I want to give an apology to Land Car Show for not saying thank you for the bark that they purchased that I should have thanked them for at the last meeting. Secondly, looking into the numbers of what we would have to do to increase the costs on our rental for our park, for our baseball fields to kind of come into more of a general play with the rest of the communities around us without going too high, too fast. Beautification, want to thank Jan Schmidt, Jesse Schmidt, and Liz from the Land and Business Owners for all the hard work they put into on the wreaths and trying to get those ready for Patrick and Fast Signs to put up for us. And the rest of the front of Village Hall will be done here over the next week and all ready to go for the tree lighting.
Thank you. Public safety,
Nothing at this time.
thank you. Public Works, Recycling, Sewer.
Pastor Lane will be open this Friday. They'll be done with the pavement marking and the curbs and the grading on alongside. The walk path was done to the corner of Lannon or of Custer and Main Street. Main Street will probably be done beginning of December. As far as the final lift on the turn, stay or the turn expansion there going on the Custer Lane. The lift station, the Custer lift station right now is on standby operation with a standby generator, and it's costing $100 because of the need for heat because of the cold weather. We Energies told us today that they would have power to the station on Wednesday. We should be able to put it in standby manual mode on Thursday. So that would go into operation Friday, and we can stop having to have that pump as well as that generator there. The intersection of Main and Lannon Road here in front of Chubby's should be repaired this week, as well as the Lake Street repairs. All I got.
Thank you, Ron. Corey?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you, Amy. Department reports, clerk's office.
We had 959 voters at the election last week, so I think that is a record for Lannon. For the spring election, we have candidates and the president position up. You can start circulating papers on December 1st. We will have copies of those packets in our office in the next couple of weeks, if anyone wants to pick them up. We're currently working on the tax bill preparations, and we've started switching over our utility software so that we are compatible with the Beacon, so we can get utility bills out on time for fourth quarter. And that's all I got. Oh, our office will be closed next Thursday and Friday for the holiday, so.
Thank you, Brenda.
Yep.
Is that, can I ask you a question? Is that the new workhorse
Yes.
utility module? Nice.
Yes, they're trying to work together to finish that.
Sorry, Dom.
Making your life easier, Brenda.
Well, not yet, but
Soon?
hopefully.
That sounds good. Police Department, Chief?
I just wanted to point out a couple of statistics compared to where we were last year as far as activity goes. Our citations are up 61 from last October. Warnings up 24, traffic stops up 54. Reports are up 2, calls for service most notably is up 113 calls for service from this time last year. And our fire and EMS calls for some reason are also up 34. I also wanted to announce our next CCW class is going to be December 17th, Saturday at 8 a.m. here at the Village Hall.
Thank you, Chief. On the calls for service, is that like double what you had, or?
It's about 50% higher than what it was.
And our man hours are, well, they will be going up the first of the year. That will help out.
Absolutely.
Are you seeing an increase in those calls for service from any particular area, or is it just in general?
It's primarily Land in the States and the apartments, Rock Point, but it's scattered throughout.
Thank you, Chief. Citizens' comments. This is meant for public comments on any subject without any discussion by Board of Trustee members or action, except for possible referral to a governmental body or village agent, except as otherwise allowed by motion of the board. Citizens' comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person, although written comments of any length may be submitted prior to the meeting to the village clerk. Direct your comments to the board only, please, and no disruptive behavior will be allowed. Do we have any citizen comments? Do you have anything, Brenda?
I don't.
Okay. Moving on, discussion and possible action on approval of operator's license for Dobbers.
This is just a new operator. He turned in the application last week or 2 weeks ago, I think, so it's ready to go.
I'll make a motion to approve the operator's license for Dobbers.
We have a motion and second. Any more discussion?
Background checks done. Person. That was it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on approval of contract for CTW for 2023.
So I'm gonna make a motion to table this item while we do some exploration into whether or not we should explore some other options. I will say that after the incident that we had back in September, I had reached out to Mid-City and asked them to give us a proposal as well, which I shared with you all via email today. And then I think everybody saw that Ben Wood had also made some additional suggestions and reached out to it was the DNR for some guidance on that. So I'd just like to table this item until we have more data.
Yeah, if we looked into, I know we started to talk about that at Sussex. Is that something you want to think about?
No, they already said that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion to table and a second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried to table. Discussion and possible action on approval of contract for assessment services for Assessment Technologies of Wisconsin LLC.
Take it. This is,
That was for the Grota appraisal contract. I believe that, well, the costs were figured into the budget, but I believe they stayed the same.
so this is what they're called now instead
Yeah.
of Rhoda.
Yes,
I was wondering if we had switched it, because I'm like,
we did.
I didn't
They
recognize
just
his name.
changed their name.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for assessment services for assessment technologies in Wisconsin LLC.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on ordinance 22-6 regarding codification of the reserve capacity assessment. That,
Let me make the motion to table that.
please, sir.
Yep, I'll make a motion to table that until council has time to prepare it completely.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on approval of quote for Civic Plus training.
So, Don, I think you've been on the chain, the email chains a little bit. It came to our attention during the water event that we had again back in September. Really, the only person that had been trained on how to use the Civic Plus is Brenda. And it was over a weekend and she was unavailable. So it's been suggested, and I think it's a prudent suggestion to get additional people trained on this software. Colleen Lake, who kind of headed up getting that program implemented, has volunteered to be a super admin and help conduct training. But I thought that really the board should weigh in on this before we just start having citizens in those kinds of positions.
Yeah.
So we need to make some decisions about who should be involved in this training. I mean, we need more training. We need to have more people that are able to do this. I think it's just a matter of how many people do we want to have and who are they going to be?
What have we got on that phone tree?
You, myself, Brenda. And did we have a fourth on there, Brenda? Ben is on there, I believe it's the fourth.
Yeah, possibly.
I think for one, everybody that's on that tree should be trained.
On,
Everybody that's on that tree should be trained.
yes. And
Did you guys
Chief, were
get
you
the
trained on
message
that?
today?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Just wanted to make sure. I'm like, I sent it out, but I wasn't, I didn't.
I got the text message and the email.
Okay, good.
So our chief has been trained on it also. It's something that we have to do because that was not something I want to deal with again. And again, Patrick and I ran around that day and it was not a pleasant experience.
Maybe it would be a bad idea to have everybody on the board go through it.
We want to.
What's the attorney's thoughts?
I think it'd be very prudent if the board was willing to do so, and all, just in case of an emergency.
Because we need to do something, we have this to use. Is it something that everybody on the board's comfortable in getting involved in?
I think what we could do is have everyone on the board trained, and then once we had the training done, we could have a systematic tree of who would be the first person to send out a, a message, have some sort of a line of procedure of who it would be. Instead of having four of us all sending out messages,
Right.
there'd be some sort of, systematic, way to do it, and we have people assigned, and maybe that'd be just a volunteer process. Someone on the board would say, yeah, I'll be the number one person. And if I'm not here or on vacation or out of town, then number two would take over. We just do something like that and figure it out.
And I would think that Civic Ready would probably have some guidance as to what the best practices are for something like that. I would hope. And Colleen is happy to help, set up and facilitate the training and stuff. She's not, she doesn't necessarily have to be an admin or anything, but she's, kind of been an advocate for this system and grabbing it by the horns. So if we want to have her continue to facilitate that and set it up for us, that's great. But she's been trained on it as well, so she does know it. But this would be an actual training by the company, and getting some other people set up. But
On this training invoice, or whatever you want to call it, is there a limitation? I mean, is this for them just to come in and do the training? So whether we have 2 people or 8 people, it doesn't matter? Or is it, how does Civic Plus, have their,
I think it doesn't
It's-
matter when
right.
the chief and I were trained, we did it online.
okay,
So it was like a Zoom meeting kind of thing, and
Yeah.
they went through things with us and trained us that way. So
Colleen's
was the
actually,
training a couple of hours or,
yeah, it was a few hours, wasn't
okay,
couple hours.
it?
Yeah, and Colleen is saying that's a Zoom call. Any number of people can log.
okay.
For somebody like me who's not real computer literate, you could get a friend to go by.
Pictures, you don't move very else.
Well, when you're standing in the pouring rain going, where are we getting water from, Patrick?
I
Right?
have 3
It's-
pages of notes.
It's a little, little bit much. And then one thing we have to do too is we're all elected up here. We would have to look at possibly going through the training if new people come on board.
Yeah, or somebody, you know, cross-training new board members or something along those lines, because I mean, the
There's a
whole
lot
board
of
doesn't
play.
ever change over, so if we all take it, then any new people on the board, we could basically train them.
So
So-
first year on the board's one extremely large learning process.
No.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I know that we got a large influx of people signed up for it when we had that water event and we were posting some stuff online, but I think we really ought to continue to try to put that message out there that it's available, communicate that it's available, and with instructions on how to sign up so we can get more people on, because do you know what?
So the message I sent out today had, it was just the regular government
Yep.
stuff, and it was like 106 people, I think, got it.
So you've got
So not-
In that group.
150 out of.
So there's different
1,200.
groups and different people are signed up for different
Right.
groups or for all groups or whatever. I think the
Right.
most is the emergency one has the most in it. But there's a different amount for each category. So.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously with the growth in population in the village, there's still a lot of people not on it. So, should think about that as well. So I would make a motion to authorize the expenditure to have this training session done and coordinated with Colleen through the Civic Ready for all of the board members. We just have to get a time that works for all of us. That'll be the challenging part.
Thank you. We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on pay application 2 for Benton Construction for Custer Lane reconstruction.
Motion to approve the application for payment for Benton on the Custer Lane project.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on pay application 4 for Mid-City Corporation for well facility improvements.
Make a motion to approve the application for Mid-City.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on pay application 9 for PTS Contractors, Inc. for Custer Lane Lift Station.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay application number 9 for PTS contractors for Custer Lane Lift Station.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on approval of contract for Lake Country Inspections LLC.
Anything new, Paul, be aware of?
I don't know if your copy has a highlighted section, but in line number 4, instead of a 3-year, we proposed a 5-year contract. Then at the end of that same paragraph, added that neither the Village of Landon or LCI have to renew this prior to the expiration, but its contract automatically renewed for another term. I have that in 2 of our 4 communities. Landon did not have it in theirs. So neither one is the hill I want to die on.
What's the increase in the fees?
None proposed at this time. You weren't asked for one.
I make the recommendation that we approve the contract with Health. CI.
We have a motion and second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on alcohol license for Just Smoke and Barbecue at 20316 West Main Street, Lannon, Wisconsin, 53046.
This was something he had kind of in his plan of operation. He never did fully execute that until just this last couple of weeks, when he was thinking about it, now that he's open and in the groove a little bit more. But he just turned in the application, so this would just go until June 30th, when all of the other ones are up for renewal. So then there would be another chance to renew for the next year.
And we have one left.
Yeah.
Yep. That one that we, Brookfield wanted.
Yeah.
So this would go
Well,
to
there's
that one? or
this
we have
one, and then there's a reserve.
I'll make a motion to approve the alcohol beverage retail license for smoking.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on operator's license for Abigail Zeman for Just Smoking.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and second. Chief, have you checked this one?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on approval of ARPA fund disbursements.
I'll take this one if you don't mind. Before the meeting, I handed out everybody a printout of a spreadsheet. I know over the last many months, I've mentioned a few items that the ARPA fund has made some decisions on. If you'll recall, we were granted $128,000 to use. There are a number of expenses that have already been used and paid. Those are listed at the top, you'll see. And then at our most recent meeting in October, we had come up with some allocations for a large portion of the remaining funds. Those items are detailed in the pending expenditures area, along with any recipients individually, if applicable. It was recommended by council that we have this formally on record and in the records, and motioned and somewhat ratified of the use of these funds and the previously expended funds as well, just from a CYA standpoint, so to say. I don't know if you have anything you want to elaborate on that.
Not particularly. We reviewed the pending expenditures and we think it complies with everything, so. Got our seal of approval as well.
Okay.
Did that also in the last email from Hector tonight? He had said he wanted to look into the taxation part of that.
I've already checked with Wendy on that.
Okay.
I emailed her a while back on that, and if, as long as it's grant funds, it should be exempt.
Just want to make sure that was covered.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, so that's been, she's given it her blessing. She was the first one I went to, and then I went to Hector just to make sure we were dotting our i's and crossing our t's, so. But we would like to be able to distribute these funds in these areas as quickly as possible to get some of these things rolling, so.
Oh, but there's only 3 officers in here, are these? These
So-
were all serving during COVID time.
So these are the ones that are, what the group decided on was for the people that are currently here. That are still working here in the village.
That were here during COVID.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So that's chief as a full-time person and 3 part-time officers, the 2 park and rec public works employees, and then the clerk's office would be Brenda and Nicole. Then you'll see that leaves about a little over $28,000 in some remaining funds that the group has talked about trying to focus on some improvements at the park. I know there's some deferred maintenance items there that need to be addressed. And there's some opportunities there, so. That's kind of where our focus is there for the rest of those funds, but that is still open to debate.
I'll present.
Second.
we have a motion and second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye, thank you. I'll forward you, Kevin and Amy, I'll send you a copy of those. I apologize, I didn't realize.
Okay. Thanks, Patrick.
Did you catch that, Amy?
Yeah, I heard him. I'll get that in an email.
Thank you.
Thank
Just
you.
wanted to remember that. Good. We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on payment of the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
We have a motion and second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineers report. We don't have Ben here. He's forwarded me nothing. Have you heard anything, Brenda?
No, yeah, nothing.
Attorney's report.
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna have the same report, everybody.
We have a motion to adjourn then.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
This is like